Check out MMOGO if you're looking to buy cheap, reliable NBA Live mobile coins. Click the link in the description and use the code BOBBY for 5% off. What's up, ballers? As most of you who play the game regularly know, NBA Live Mobile has not had a whole lot going on recently, so I think a lot of us expected to have a ton of content available to play whenever the playoffs came around, and they dropped one massive update, and then after that, we didn't really get anything. So I am doing my best to get content out to you guys. I figured since we don't have a whole lot in the game right now, why not give EA some recommendations? So today we've got, in my opinion, 5 players that need to be in the game. We've had a lot of repeat cards recently. We recently got 5 Magic Johnsons, and I believe we already had 3 of his card in the game. So tons of repeats on him. We've got 5 Tracy McGrady's, 5 Dennis Rodmans, and we already had a Dennis Rodman and a Tracy McGrady before getting those cards. So clearly there isn't a lack of players in the game. There's just a lack of new players that EA wants to put in the game. Now, I don't know if that has to do with licensing, getting the rights to those players, or whatever that is, but I think these are 5 players that were really solid players that also wouldn't be hard to get the rights to. So obviously the #1 choice would be Michael Jordan, simply because he is the greatest of all time, but the rights to his card are going to be really expensive. Same for guys like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Kobe, but there are some players who aren't really well known in NBA history, at least by people that follow the game today, that were still great in their time, and I think they need cards in the game. So our first card that I think needs to be in the game is Chauncey Billups. Now, some of you, although he played relatively recently, might not even know who he was. He was the point guard of the Pistons team that won the NBA championship in 2004. So one of the things about the cards in the game right now that has surprised me most is that there are 0 players from that championship team that have cards in the game. No Chauncey Billups, no Richard Hamilton, no Tayshaun Prince, no Rasheed Wallace, no Ben Wallace. That was probably my favorite team of all time, because that's one of the few teams that I've ever cheered for that actually won a championship. My parents are from Michigan, so I used to be a pretty big Pistons fan. Chauncey Billups was really the leader of that team. They called him Mr. Big Shot, and while he didn't average a ton of points or a ton of assists, he was really consistent every season and just had a really solid NBA career. Works for TNT now. Would be a really solid addition to the game. Now, I have right here that he's a 97 big man point guard. That's just as an example. He doesn't have to be big man lineup or 97. He probably doesn't deserve a 97. But there are plenty of cards in the game right now that don't deserve the ratings that they have. So I think he's one card that we definitely could get, as well as any of those other players. They were all, any of those 2004 championship Pistons were all really solid players that I think deserve cards in the game. The next card I would say that we need is Reggie Miller. I feel like this is another kind of obvious one. He's the second leading three-point shooter of all time. Really one of the few great three-point shooters in the 1990s. Absolutely dominated. He was extremely clutch. He once scored 8 points in 9 seconds, I believe, in order to win a game. He's just an all-time great. He works for TNT now as well. Really well known, and I'm kind of surprised we don't have one of his cards yet. Now, he's another one of those guys that was never like an insane scorer. There was one season where he scored 25 points a game, but he's like, especially given the way that people are loving three-point shooters more and more, I'm really surprised we haven't seen his card yet. Now, obviously, it could be a licensing issue, but I feel like he's not super popular to the point where it would be super expensive to get the rights to his card, and I know that a lot of people would like to get his card in the same way that they want to get Ray Allen's card. He's currently the greatest three-point shooter of all time, and so those two are right up there, at least in regards to overall three-pointers made. I definitely think he would be a really solid addition to the game. Next, at small forward, a lot of you might not have heard of him. I actually didn't even hear of him until I was looking up people for this video. Alex English played for the Denver Nuggets in the 1980s. So a lot of people don't know, in a time when there were so many prolific scorers like Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, Adrian Dantley, Dominique Wilkins, none of those guys led the NBA in scoring during the 1980s. It was actually Alex English. So him alongside another guy that I almost put in the video, his name's Fat Lever. That's not his actual name, it's Lafayette Lever, but he was known as Fat Lever. Alex English actually averaged over 20 points per game let's see, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times. Every single year in the 1980s, he averaged 21, 24, 25, 28, 26, 28, 30, 29, 25, 27. Every single season, over 20 points per game. And I'd never even heard of him until now, so I'd say he definitely deserves a card. I can't imagine his rights would be very hard to get, considering you very rarely ever hear people talk about him. And whenever he retired, he was actually number 7 all-time on the scoring list. So I'd say he definitely deserves a card in the game, and it would be a nice addition at the small forward position. Next up on the list, we've got Antawn Jamison. So he actually played for Carolina back in the 90s. He was one of the best scorers, especially at power forward in the 2000s. So he was ranked number 9 among all scorers in the 2000s. He was above Ray Allen, Shawn Marion, Shaquille O'Neal, Pau Gasol. Just a really fantastic player, definitely a really solid guy, and I'm surprised that he hasn't had a card either. It seems like for the most part EA is trying to get cards that were in the relatively recent past, just because those are the players that people will remember. And we haven't seen him yet, so it might be partially because he retired relatively recently. I believe he retired in 2014, somewhere around there, so that might be part of the reason that why we don't have a legend card for him yet. But also Ray Allen retired only 2 years ago, so that doesn't really seem like much of an excuse. And he was just a really solid power forward throughout his entire career. Definitely deserves a card, especially over some of the, I feel like, mediocre cards that we've had put in the game. And I think he would be a really solid addition at power forward. And then at center, I would say probably the biggest snub on this list, Moses Malone. Now, a lot of people don't know he was actually one of the greatest basketball players of all time. He's actually number 7 right now on the NBA's all-time scoring list. During his career, he got almost 30,000 points. He finished with 29,580. Also amassed 17,834 rebounds, which is crazy. He also won 3 MVP awards. 3. So I'm really, I'm confused why we don't have one of his cards in the game. He's not really somebody that you hear people talk about a lot. Part of that is because he played so long ago, but either way, he's absolutely deserving of a card. Definitely a dominant player in his time, and just seems to be kind of forgotten in the NBA mainstream today and by NBA Live Mobile. So I would say out of all the guys on this list, he's the most deserving of a legend player. I think he would be a really solid addition. It seems like all the centers that we're getting are just repeats, like Wilt Chamberlain. Who else are we getting? We're getting Shaq, we're getting Patrick Ewing, all these players that we've already had before. When you've got this legend, probably top 3 centers of all time, and he's just been completely snubbed from the list. So hopefully we can get some of these players in the game soon. That would be really awesome. I would like to see new players because we're seeing a lot of repeats lately, but that's going to be about it for this episode. Now, obviously, I'm probably going to have some comments. I missed this person, missed that person. If you guys think that there's somebody I missed, make sure to comment that down below. We're going to see if we can hit 400 likes on this video. And also, if I made any mistakes, any errors, anything you disagree with, feel free to comment that down below. But that's going to be about it. So, hope you guys enjoyed. Please be sure to comment, like, and subscribe if you did. And I will see you guys next time.